Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. In today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to make Thayir Vada, which is a very traditional South Indian breakfast dish. It's slightly different from the dahi vadas that you get in North India. It is not soaked in water after you fry it, but directly put into the dahi, which is mixed along with some coconut and given a very South Indian tadka. So without wasting any time, let's just dive right in and learn how to make this dish. So to begin making the Thayir Vada, I have some urad dal with me, which is whole urad dal, which I have soaked for about 2 hours in water. I drained out the excess water and just have like a couple of tablespoons inside that is required to grind it. Okay, we don't need too much water. And I'm going to be using my favorite mixer grinder, which is a mini mixer grinder, which is called a turbo chop in the market. And it is a multi-utility grinder, and it grinds, it chops nuts and chops your vegetables. It even grinds my vada batter if you're making in small quantities, pakoda batters, and a whole lot more. So without wasting, I'm just going to straight away start grinding my things into my turbo chop. So I'm going to be adding the urad dal, and I have some green chilies and ginger over here, which I have roughly chopped, and I'm going to add that. Some hing, which is Asafoetida perengayam, okay, and some salt. I'm going to place this on top of this and place this over and simply press. Notice that I was able to pulse the mixer grinder as well. So there's some dal stuck on the sides. I'm going to quickly put that down and give it one more pulse and we'll be done. Okay, so I'm done with grinding the batter. Notice that the batter is ground really well and it's nice and smooth. So imagine how beautiful this mixer grinder is. You can make your chutneys, hummus, everything in small quantities. And I simply love it because it's really compact. So my next step is I'm going to transfer this to a bowl and then going to pan fry it in a curry paniyaram pan. Now to begin making our Thayir Vadais, to fry the vada batter, I have this paniyaram pan with me. It's a versatile pan and it's super useful to avoid deep frying foods. So in this pan, I'm just going to add a little bit of oil in each one of those cavities. And by frying in this pan, you can actually determine how much of oil you actually consume, and it's extremely healthy. Okay, so I'm going to spoon in the vada batter into each one of the cavities. Make sure that it's not like completely full because it will puff up a little bit as you're frying. So it's similar to a dosa batter that you make paniyarams. You can add your vada batter, you can add your kofta batters, and this is a multi-utility pan which makes it great for healthy cooking. So now that I've added the vadas in, so I'm going to wait for the top to steam a little bit. I'm going to cover it for about a minute, and once I notice the tops are steamed, I'm going to flip it over and fry these vadas until they're browned and crisp from all the sides on medium heat. Ensure that you fry it on medium heat because it has to get cooked from the inside. So it's important to cook it on low to medium heat so it gets cooked evenly. So we'll wait until that. So it's been about a minute, not more than that, over a medium heat. And notice the tops are all steamed. So what I'm going to do is to use a spoon and gently flip over because it's still raw in the inside, okay? And you might sometimes have some batter oozing out, so don't worry about that, it's completely okay. And just flip it. Notice the bottom is steamed. So essentially, if you're actually making a regular vada and you want it crisper, you can add a little more oil and make it crisper. But for dahi vada, since I'm going to add it to dahi, I don't need to add more oil than I added. Okay, so you control the amount of oil that you use. Okay, so now that I've flipped, I'll wait for a few more seconds and I'll be done with this vada batter, and then I'll take you through the next steps of how to complete the whole process of how to make the Thayir Vada. So now that I've fried the vadais, I'm going to do the talchikotal, which is the tadka for the vadais. Okay, so I'm going to add some oil into my pan, which is preheated. I'm going to add in the mustard seeds, urad dal, which is white broken urad dal, which is very, very important for South Indian cuisine. And I'm going to break some red chilies and allow the dal to roast for a few seconds until it becomes nice brown and crisp. Okay, so ensure that you fry the roasted dal on low heat, because only then it will get cooked and it will get roasted well. If you fry it on high heat, then it tends to brown faster, but inside it's still a little raw. Notice that the dal is getting brown, and now that the dal is brown and the mustard seeds are also crackling, I'm going to add in the curry leaves. Curry leaves is something that I always add towards the end, and I'm going to tear it. You can finely chop it, or ensure that always you tear the curry leaves and add, because only then the flavors come in. Okay, I've turned off the heat, and I'm just going to give it a quick stir and keep it aside. So my next step is to whisk up the dahi with some coconut, salt and sugar, add the tadka, put the vadas inside and serve it along with some crisp boondi. So I'm just going to show you how to do just that. Now to make the thayir, for the thayir vada, I have some dahi with me, which is the thayir. Okay, I'm going to add it into a big mixing bowl, which is also going to be my serving bowl. So whenever you make thayir vada, put the thayir in the serving bowl which you're going to place the vadas in, so because then you don't have to keep transferring into multiple pots. So now to the dahi I'm going to add in the salt, okay, and some sugar. Sugar is optional, but I like a little bit of sweetness in my food, and some freshly grated coconut, and the seasoning which we did. I love the taste of the crisp dal in the Thayir vada. It's really delicious. So I'm just going to mix it up really well and add just a little water, because the thayir is very thick, the dahi is very thick, and we'll add some water and then add the vadas to soak it and serve. So we'll just add just enough water to make it not very thin and not very thick as well. It should be like a thick lassi, right? And ensure that it is mixed well. Maybe you can use a fork as well to whisk up the dahi very well, and so that it's nice and smooth. Check the salt taste. If you need any more, a little more salt, a little more sugar, you can definitely go ahead and add it. And once this is done, just going to give it a quick taste. It's perfect. I'm going to add in the pan-fried vadas. Okay. So now that I've soaked the vadas in the thayir, I'm going to refrigerate it for about a couple of hours so that the vadas soak well into the thayir itself. So I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make this simple Thayir vada, which is the South Indian style. And this is a great mixer grinder. If you noticed, it's small quantities of vadas if you want to make just for your family of 4. We have some delicious 10 vadas over here that you can serve quickly for a weeknight dinner, or even when you have some sudden guests at home. So do give this recipe a try, and when you do, don't forget to share your feedback in the comments below. We'd love to hear back from you. So until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.